All right, let's get into one of the most chilling and, honestly, one of the most persistent urban legends to ever come out of the Japanese internet. This is a story that kicks off with just a few forum posts and ends with someone vanishing off the face of the earth. We're talking about the disappearance at Kisaragi Station. Think about it. It's such a simple mistake, right? Something any of us could do. You're tired, you're on your phone, you get on the train you always take. But what if that one little mistake took you somewhere you could never, ever leave? Well, that's exactly what supposedly happened to one woman, whose normal ride home spiraled into a total nightmare she never woke up from. So how did this whole thing unfold? Well, the crazy part is, it happened live, post by post, on the massive Japanese forum 2channel. A user who went by the name Hasumi started documenting her commute, and over just a couple of hours, her posts went from, totally normal, to absolutely terrifying. This timeline here, it's basically her digital diary of descending into the unknown.
And it all begins with that little feeling in your gut that something's not right. It's not full-blown panic yet, just a sense that things are off. Her train was supposed to make stops every few minutes, but this one just kept going and going, deeper into the night. This first post, it really captures that initial moment where she realized, hey, this isn't my normal commute.
So, after what must have felt like forever, the train finally slows down and stops. But the name on the platform isn't one she recognizes. It says Kisaragi Station. Just like that, she'd arrived at a place that, according to every single map and every train schedule, just shouldn't exist.
And this is where that feeling of being totally alone really starts to sink in. I mean, can you imagine? You step off a train and there's just nothing. No other people, no station workers, not even the distant sound of a city. Just this deep, spooky silence in a place that the rest of the world says isn't even there.
Okay, and this is where her confusion really flips into pure panic. She does what any of us would do. She reaches for help. She calls her family, she calls the police, but it's no use. Her family thinks she's pulling a prank. The police can't help because, as far as they're concerned, she's calling from a place that doesn't exist. She is totally, completely on her own in a reality that's become disconnected from everyone else's.
So up to this point, it's a terrifying lost and alone story, but this is where it really takes a hard turn into something else entirely. Her situation goes from being just stranded to being trapped in something, well, something supernatural. That creepy silence, it's about to be broken.
All of a sudden, things start happening that just can't be explained. First, she starts to hear this faint sound, like festival drums and bells, coming from somewhere out in the darkness. Then she sees something incredibly strange. A man with only one leg just standing on the tracks. And then, poof, he's gone. The world around her isn't just empty anymore, it's getting actively weird and actively hostile. With the station getting creepier by the second and no sign of another train, she makes a really terrifying choice. Figuring her only way out is to keep moving forward, Hasumi decides to leave the station platform and walk along the tracks, straight into a pitch-black, menacing tunnel.
After somehow making it through the tunnel, there's this glimmer of hope. In the darkness, she actually meets another person. A guy in a car, who seems friendly enough, stops and offers her a ride to safety. For just a second, you think, okay, maybe this nightmare is finally over.
But that hope, it disappears fast. This is the last thing she ever posted. Her potential rescuer has become her final trap. He's not driving toward town. He's going deeper and deeper into the mountains, and he starts muttering weird things. You can just feel the absolute horror dawning on her in these last few words. And that's it. That's what gives this legend its power. She just stopped posting. The live feed of her terror was just cut. Hasumi disappeared from the internet, and we have to assume from the world. No follow-up message, no just kidding, I'm okay. Just a final haunting digital silence.
So for years now, people have been trying to figure out what happened. Was it just an incredibly creative story, an elaborate prank, or did she actually stumble into something that we can't explain? Let's dive into the biggest theory that people use to make sense of the Kisaragi Station mystery.
The most popular theory is that Kisaragi Station was something called a liminal space. Now, you've probably been in one. Think about an empty school hallway at night or a deserted airport terminal. There are these in-between places, these thresholds that aren't quite here nor there. And in those places, some people believe the rules of our reality get a little thin. So on one side, you have our world. It's familiar, it's predictable. On the other side, you have the liminal space. It's unsettling, it's strange, and totally cut off.
And the train station is, by its very definition, a place of transition, right? The theory goes that Hasumi's train didn't just take a wrong turn, it actually passed through a threshold into one of these weird pocket dimensions, a place completely disconnected from our world.
And that leaves us with the big question. Was Hasumi a real person who documented her terrifying final moments as she slipped through a crack in reality, or was she an amazing storyteller who created one of the very first and one of the best ghost stories for the internet age? A story that still gets under our skin because, hey, a little part of us swears that it just might be true. That's for you to think about.